Hello friends, this is me, your host. Welcome back to our channel. I hope you all are well and having a great day. So today I'm back with a video which in which we're going to give a review on a book which is Our World, Our Home. This book is by Dr. Muhammad Naveed Akbar, and we can learn in this book that how we can build a peaceful and beautiful future. The earth as our home, a call for responsibility and action. The earth is not only a planet, it is our common home, a world of unmatched beauty, diversity, and richness. It gives us the air we breathe, the water we drink, and the resources that support life. But despite its bounty, we have not always shown it the care and respect it requires. Climate change, deforestation, pollution, and the exploitation of natural resources have put have put tremendous pressure on the file balance that sustains life. The onus of protecting our planet does not lie with governments or environmental groups alone. It is a shared responsibility that lies with each one of us if we are to build a prosperous and sustainable future. We must understand our place as caretakers of the planet and move decisively to preserve it. Since civilizations began, people have depended upon nature to construct societies, develop economies, and enhance standards of living. Yet, in our drive to advance, we have tended to value short term benefits at the expense of long term sustainability. Long term sustainability. Industrialization Industrialization, urbanization, and mass consumption have resulted in tremendous have tremendous environmental degradation, inflicting irreparable damage on ecosystems and biodiversity. Although technological progress and modern amenities have enhanced the standard of living for most, they have also been responsible for unsustainable activities that threaten future generations. The task at hand is not only to undo the harm but to reconsider our relationship with nature and create a new paradigm, one that balances human development with environmental protection. History has shown that the greatest changes have started with a change of heart. Awareness is the beginning of change. By developing a profound understanding of the problems our world is experiencing and our own place within it, we can catalyze action at the individual, community, and international level. Our decisions today will determine the courses of our world. From policy change, green business, or mindful consumerism, each effort matters. This chapter discusses the basic tenets of environmental stewardship and the need to act on the ecological crisis. As one, we can see and strive for a world where the human race would prosper along with nature. Shared responsibility. The earth is ours. The earth does not belong to one country, company, or age. It belongs to all of us. It is shared inheritance passed down through time, and it is our duty to preserve it for future generations. Throughout history, indigenous communities have understood this sacred bond with nature, treating the land, water, and air with reverence and respect. They have lived in harmony with their surroundings, taking only what is needed and giving back in return. This insight, so easily disregarded in our contemporary age, contains much for our society today to learn. As globalization quickens and, and economies broaden, the stress on our environment only intensifies. The consuming world, fueled by an unrelenting hunger for growth and consumption, has taken ecosystems to the edge. The deforestation for farming, the ocean plastic pollution, and the indiscriminate release of greenhouse gases are not singular issues. They are manifestations of a more they are of more fundamental problem, the disconnection between human action and environmental stewardship. We have proceeded as if the resources on this planet are limitless. Yet the truth could be not more different. Unless we act quickly, we threaten to exhaust the very resource that sustain us. Hope still exists. The same ingenuity and perseverance that has driven technological and economic advances can be used to restore balance. Sustainable energy technologies, conservation, and creative policies can reverse harm and construct a more secure world. But this demands a revolutionary change in how we view ownership and responsibility. Rather, we should acknowledge that Earth is a connected, living ecosystem that must be carefully tended to. By fulfilling our common cause, we can build a world where humanity as well as nature can prosper. Recognizing the effect of our actions. All that we do, big and small, impacts the environment. What we eat, what we shop, how we travel, and how we use energy all add to the overall ecological footprint that we leave. Too much of contemporary society runs on the basis of convenience and disposability, where there is short term convenience but a lack of concern for long term sustainability. This has resulted in too much wastage, unsustainable resource usage, and pollution on a scale that is unprecedented. Think of the effect of single use plastics, one of the greatest modern conveniences that is now an environmental tragedy. Millions of tons of plastic trash are dumped into the ocean annually, suffocating sea life and coating coastlines with filth. Likewise, agricultural deforestation and urbanization has devastated key systems, driving numerous species toward extinction. The increase in carbon emissions, fueled largely by the use of fossil fuels, has thrown weather patterns out of balance, resulting in heat waves, hurricanes, wildfires, and sea level rise. These are not abstract threats, these are happening in front of us. Impacting people all over the world. However, awareness alone is insufficient. Education on the environment is vital, but it needs to go hand in hand with action. We can all make a difference by changing our lifestyles to be more sustainable, less waste, responsible consumption, and environmentally friendly businesses. Governments and businesses need to put in place policies that favor the health of environment over profit, making sustainable options available and affordable. The fate of our planet rests on whether we can alter our habits and ecosystem. If we do not change our direction, the end will be catastrophic. But if we decide to act responsibly, we can create a new path, one that creates renewal and restoration. The urgency of taking action. Now is the time to act. Climate change is not a problem far off in the future of our greatest great grandchildren. It is a crisis that is real time. Scientific research has time and again cautioned that we are approaching a tipping point, one that will be so far gone that the harm to our planet can become irreparable. Increased global warming, shrinking ice caps, and severe weather are obvious signs of an ailing ecosystem. The longer we wait, the worse the repercussions will be. Spanning food, spanning from food to public health and economic stability. In spite of overwhelming proof, political complacency and corporate avarice has hindered the action against the crisis. Policymakers with short term interest are reluctant to carry out the needed reforms. Fossil companies still enjoy subsidies. Deforestation is widespread, and green regulations are regularly diluted for economic development. The price of inaction, however, is much more than the price of immediate action. Immediate action. Postponing policies for climate protection will not just destroy the planet but also make social injustices worse because vulnerable communities suffer the brunt of environmental degradation first. On the bright side, we have already acquired enough knowledge and technologies to address these issues. Alternative sources of power like solar energy and wind have become cheaper. And more efficient. Conservation efforts have effectively revived endangered ecosystems. Grassroots movements with passionate activists at the forefront have pushed government into embracing climate friendly policies. What we require today is commitment in common. Individual efforts, however valuable, need to be supplemented by systematic reform. Governments, enterprises, and civil society need to unite for driving mass scale solutions. The gravity of this hour cannot be emphasized enough. The decisions we make today will shape the world of tomorrow. Working together for a sustainable future. The sustainability challenge is enormous, but it is not impossible. Everywhere in the world, communities, companies, and are governments are demonstrating that change is achievable when we act together. Collective action is the solution to addressing environmental issues on a grand scale. No individual, company, or nation can turn around climate change or rebuild depleted ecosystem by themselves. It needs a shared dedication to policies, innovation, and lifestyle shifts that place the well-being of the planet first ahead of unbridled economic growth. Global cooperation is key to establishing a sustainable future. Treaties like the Paris Climate Accord have shown how global cooperation can yield significant commitments to lowering carbon. When nations unite to make environmental goals and exchange best practices, the result is significant. But international accords are only as powerful as the desire of countries to enforce them. Effective governance, grassroots pressure, and scientific investigation must continue to compel world leaders to take bold, decisive action. At the community level, individuals are coming together to build local solutions that lead to a healthier world. From urban agriculture projects to alleviate food insecurity and promote biodiversity to zero waste initiatives. But to zero waste initiatives, reducing landfill pollution, grassroots movements are leading the way. Companies are also taking action, understanding the sustainability is not only a moral imperative but a shrewd business move. Companies that are investing in renewable energy, socially responsible supply chains, and sustainable products are reaping long term rewards by also winning over environmentally engaged consumers. Together, we can build a world Together we can build a world in which environmental health and human well being are no longer completing interests but complementary ones. Education as a foundation for change. Education is perhaps the most effective instrument in creating a sustainable future. When individuals are aware of the environmental consequence of their actions, they are likely to embrace behaviors that safeguard the planet. Educational institutions, higher learning institutions, and public education campaigns all have a role to play in educated instilling an educated, responsible global citizenry that holds sustainability in high regard. Environmental education should start right from childhood when children are taught how to respect nature, conserve resources, and learn that everything in nature is interdependent. As young minds are molded with eco awareness when they become adults, they make responsible choices that help society as and even business so that students realize the contribution they can make to making the planet green. Aside from formal schooling, media and technology can relate, educate, and motivate action. Documentaries such as Our Planet Before the Flood have initiated worldwide discussions on conservation and climate change. Social media enables activists to raise awareness and rally support for environmental issues at unprecedented rates. Misinformation and greenwashing, however, where corporations misleadingly present themselves as environmentally friendly, are issues that need to be overcome. Responsible journalism Responsible journalism and critical thinking are the keys to making sure that individuals have access to correct, science driven information that results in action. The role of technology in creating a better world. Technology has been a major driver of industrialization and environmental degradation. Yet technology also carries the power to make the world more sustainable. From renewable energy to AI based conservation, scientific progress is offering solutions to some of the globe's most critical environmental issues. One of the most promising developments in the fight against climate change is the shift to clean energy technologies like wind, solar, and hydroelectric power. As the technologies improve in efficiency and availability, they provide a chance to transition away from fossil fuels, lowering global carbon emissions. The role of technology in creating a better world. Technology has been a major driver of industrialization and environmental degradation. Yet, technology also carries the power to make the world more sustainable. From renewable energy to AI based conservation, scientific progress is offering solutions to some of the globe's most critical environmental issues. One of the most promising developments in the fight against climate change is the shift to clean energy technologies like wind, solar, and hydroelectric power. As the technologies improve in efficiency and availability, they provide a chance to transition away from fossil fuels, lowering global carbon emissions. Besides energy, technology is transforming sectors like agriculture, water management, and waste. Smart irrigation technologies assist farmers in minimizing water wastage, while cultured meat and plant based meat alternatives are minimizing the environmental impact of food production. AI analytics are enhancing conservation efforts through deforestation monitoring, tracking endangered species, and maximizing land use planning. Technology is also used in developing more sustainable cities by enhancing public transport, saving energy in buildings, and streamlining waste collection and recycling processes. But technology in itself is not a silver bullet. Its advantages need to be steered by ethical principles so that the benefits do not accrue disproportionately to the rich at the expense of poor communities. The digital divide is still an issue, with much of the world having no access to the technologies that could assist them in coping with climate change. To really create a better world, innovation needs to be inclusive with equity and accessibility taking precedence over environmental gains. Redefining progress from growth to well being. Economic success has quantified mostly in terms of GDP growth for decades. Nations, companies, and governments have chased financial growth at the cost of planetary and social well being. These nations have come up with new paradigms, including the Gross National Happiness Index that gauges citizens' happiness rather than economic prosperity. Likewise, the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals also focus achieving balance between prosperity, equality and ecological responsibility. These paradigms acknowledge that economic growth without regulation usually translates to exploitation of human beings, nature resources and ecosystem. There must be a change in values where well-being is prioritized where well-being is prioritized over consumption and long-term sustainability over short-term profit. Governments need to invest in sustainable policies backing renewable energy, sustainable agriculture, and circular economies where they do not waste resources and continuously reuse them. Companies need to find alignment with sustainability objectives, realizing that protecting the environment is not a barrier to success but a chance to innovate and be at the forefront. and people need to overcome the belief that material wealth will make them happier. Adopting less wasteful, more conscious means of living that are centered on the individual's fulfillment and the community's welfare. The power of individual small steps, significant change. It is tempting to feel helpful before the face of international environmental emergencies. Yet, individual action as a collective brings major change. Small changes in lifestyle, cutting down on plastic, saving water, adopting a plant based diet, and patronizing sustainable enterprises add up to create a strong movement. Individual decisions shape market patterns, determining the way business function and policies are developed. Most importantly, people can motivate others. Discussions with friends, family, and co workers regarding responsibility to the environment can initiate larger conservations that culminate in collective action. Working for policy reforms, engaging in community activities, and volunteering for environmental groups are all means of extending one's influence. Every social movement in history has started with people who decided to do something. By taking an active stance on sustainability, people can help create a better world for generations to come. A vision for the future, a beautiful and sustainable earth. One can imagine a world where the cities are powered purely by clean energy, where the forests are growing instead of declining, where wildlife is thriving, and where people live in harmony with nature instead of dominating it. This vision is not a dream but a real possibility. If we act now, the future of the planet rests on the choices we make today. If we prioritize sustainability over convenience, conservation over devastation, and long term health over temporary gain, we can build a world that not only survives but flourishes. We need to ask ourselves, what world do we want to leave behind? A A world devastated by pollution, and destruction, or a thriving planet that still nurtures life in all its beauty. The decision is ours, and the time to make it is now. The earth is our common home and is up to us to save it. Though human activity has done considerable harm to the environment, we can change direction. By acting together, learning from each other, technological advance, and the transformation of economic values, we can construct a sustainable future. Governments, companies, and people all have a part to play. Every small step makes a bigger difference, and we have within our power to create lasting change. The future does not have to happen, it is determined by the decisions we make now. Let us make good choices. So, here have we will continue our next chapter in the next video. I'll be back with another book, with another chapter to continue this book. Till then, just take care and goodbye.